how to start your acting career here in the ATL. So you just either moved from LA, Oklahoma, Idaho, Alaska, Florida, whatever. You're in the Atlanta market and you're like, lady, it's a fresh new start, new city, new me, who's this? I'm ready to start my career in Atlanta. So how to start your acting career in Atlanta. A lot of this information is going to be very similar to like just how to get started in the business in general. But there are little tweaks and things that, you should know when it comes to the Atlanta market that I will touch on. But for the most part, if you're just like, I am ready to be an actor, I belong, on TV, where do I get started? In Atlanta, at least, but overall in general, you guys get what I'm trying to say. You have to start taking classes. Guys, the amount of people, I'm going to post a meme of actors that like, it's funny because it's like new actors, they're like, wake up and they're like, oh, I want to be an actor. And then they just think they could just submit to agents and agents are going to come crawling at the door. It doesn't work like that, guys. I always like to say, it's like, you live near the airport, right? And you hear, I'm in Atlanta, so like the Delta headquarters are here. So like, I'm like, oh, look at that Delta plane fly. You know what? It would be nice to become a pilot. I think I'm going to go apply to Delta to become a pilot. It's like, whoa, hang on a second. You got to go to school. You got to get training. You got to get certified. You got to do all these things. Or like a doctor is like, oh, like they're performing doing open heart surgery. I would like to do that one day. Let me go apply to the hospital to see if they're accepting or hiring any surgeons. Like, no, there's a whole process that you skipped. Take classes, guys. If you're in Atlanta, a great places to start is Drama Inc. I have a whole video about like the best, the I don't want to say the best, but like the top acting schools and studios that I would recommend if you just moved to Atlanta. But like Drama Inc. is a really good one. There's Robert Mello Studios. There's Catapult. There's just so many. Look at that video, reference that video. But start taking classes not only to work on your skills and crafts, but to also network with your teachers, network with other students. Because guys, it's so funny, like starting this years ago, a lot of like my former peers from these classes are now screenwriters, are now directors, are now like producers, are now working actors, so you just don't know who you're going to meet in these studios. And these are connections that, be genuine. Don't just be like, I'm here to see who can give me what I want. Like, no, we're not, it's 2023. We're not in the mood to be superficial. Okay. But just to make these genuine connections, because you just never know who's going to be who in a few years, right? Starting with classes, doing these workshops, and just getting familiar with the vibe and the market here in Atlanta, and the actor pool in Atlanta, and the coaches and the styles and everything that is offered down here is the best way to get started. So don't just walk in, from Oklahoma to Midtown and be like, oh, I'm going to be an actor. Who are the agencies? Let me submit to agents. No. They're just no, because at the end of the day, agents need to make money. They want to make money. They need to know what's in it for me. When you start looking at like, when you start looking at it from a perspective of, everybody's just kind of looking out for them. And it's not, I don't mean that in a mean way, but I mean it more so like, well, what can you do for me? If you're just new, no experience, or you're just like, I kind of just here winging it, that's very green. Nobody's going to take you seriously. You have to take classes and network and learn. You're going to learn so much from just classes and network so much. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you guys get the point. Study your type and get some headshots. Professional headshots. I'm going to be doing a video soon about the top headshot photographers that I recommend here in Atlanta. Not just because I shot with them, most of them I didn't, but like other friends, I've looked at their headshots and they're spectacular. But once you figure out your type and your essence, if you don't know what your type and your essence is, it's pretty much just, I have a whole video if I haven't posted it already. If I did, reference that video. But for the most part, your type and your essence is like the vibe and the aura that you give off when you walk into a room, and what can people, if people didn't know you, what could they see you as? So like for me, I go out for a lot of cops and guards. That's just my type. That's how people view me. I have very like strong, like almost like bold features, and also like I'm Hispanic, so like I go out for like a lot of like Hispanic type of roles. In your essence, a good acting class, and a lot of acting classes do this, like kind of like on your first or second day, like intro to acting class or whatever, they'll kind of like, say like, okay, they'll put you to the front of the room and be like, okay, what can you see this person working in, or what kind of vibe do they give off? Do they look like a mom? Do you see them working at a fast food restaurant? Or, you know, like I remember my first time I got that I had an RBF. It's okay. It was all in fun and love. But I got that I come off as mean, but I also come off like a customer service worker who hates her job, you know? So, yeah, I also got like, nurse and like, you know, like domestic, like abuse survivors, stuff like that, you know? So, figure out your type and then get some professional headshots, guys. Don't get Mildred, your next door neighbor with a fancy camera to do your headshots. Be for real. Be effing for real. Get a professional headshot photographer. I'm gonna make a video if I haven't already, but like some of the popular ones here in Atlanta: Chase Anderson, Robbie Glenn. He's made my moneymaker shots. Robbie Glenn, Emily something. She's a new. I don't want to say she's new, but she shot a lot of my friends, and they're like really good. Brian Jones, Josh Stringer. So just do your research and get some good headshots. Like seriously, guys. Like study your type, study, you know, what they're wearing, look at either shows or go on Pinterest, like go in with a headshot, like into a headshot. I'm going to make a whole video about headshots and how to prepare for them. But make sure that your outfits that you're picking is, you know, like either if you can't style yourself, hire a stylist, but you have to go in with a plan. Like I'm going to do my theatrical, my commercial, my nurse look, and my professional, like assistant or whatever look, and then like start shopping for them, start like living as them, even if you really want to go there. And just study them and research the shows as well to make sure that you get the best headshot session possible. So there's that. What else? Oh, if you have no experience, I'm talking to people who have no experience, do theater, whether it be community theater, to go like audition for short films, student projects. Actors Access is a really good resource for you. I believe it's free to sign up, but I think like to submit yourself to auditions, like I don't know if it's still like this, but it's like individually priced. If I were you, I would just pay the $68 a year to do like free submissions. I got like a lot of like auditions through Actors Access when I first started out that were like indie or student projects. How I got also a lot of like my first few credits was through Facebook casting calls for speaking roles. Be very, 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 very careful. I did my due diligence. I did my research. I asked around people who knew the people. I looked at the production company's website. I looked at like the people who I would be working with. Like research, and listen to your gut. Ladies, especially ladies, listen to your gut. If it sounds sketchy or if it's something you're uncomfortable with, like just take it out. You have to be very, very careful with this stuff. But I did get a lot of like credits through Facebook casting calls. So again, casting calls with speaking lines, no extra work. We're not doing extra work, guys. If you're finding like me, if you find like, yeah, I was getting I was going out for a lot of stuff, like I was submitting myself to a lot of like indie projects, student films, casting calls on Facebook or whatever, and I just wasn't getting like the good quality reel that I wanted. I just wasn't getting good stuff. What I did eventually was I hired a production company to film a couple scenes for me, and that is how I signed with my current manager, to be very honest with you. That is an option. A lot of people call it pay to play. I call it I ain't got time. I've been at it for like 2 to 3 years. I still don't have a good reel, and so I would advise if you can invest in this. They can be pretty expensive, but I got my investment back plus a lot more, because again, it is an investment. And do your research with these production companies. They're really, really good ones are really, really hard to find that offer this type of service. I don't know what the service exactly is called. I know in Atlanta, there's only like one that I would recommend to people. I've heard the same with like other people in other markets, but I just say like, make sure like that they're professional, that they're good, look at their previous work. Luckily, the production company that I hired had like a whole plethora of a library of like reels that they've shot for other people with this service that they offered. And I was able to look at the writing and look at the lighting and look at and hear the sound and look at the picture and the cinematography and stuff. And they're just like short scenes. They're not meant to be like a whole episode. But if you're having a difficult time with finding like, to get footage and, or whatever, definitely do that. Like that's a really good option. It worked for me. A lot of people have advised against it. I say go for it. Aside from that, once you get a good reel together that shows your type and your essence and your skills, continue doing classes and ask your teachers and coaches for recommendations. Ask them if you're ready. Like, am I ready to submit to an agency? If I am, who would you recommend? Who would you suggest? Don't go in like, can you refer me? Because it's just the whole referral thing is, I can have a whole like video about like etiquette when it comes to getting referrals or asking for referrals. But just ask them like, do you think, I'm ready? And if they offer you the referral, great. If not, I don't ever want to lead with like, can you refer me? It's just not, it's not good etiquette, guys. It's not good like manners, I guess. But that's when I would start. Once you have a good reel together that showcases your talent and your skills, start looking into researching, submitting yourself to agents and managers, to your agents, and ask around either your friends, your actor friends, or your teachers and your coaches. So research the agencies. What I recommend doing is going onto the SAG-AFTRA website and in Atlanta and looking up like all of the SAG franchise agencies, and then go on IMDb Pro. We love IMDb Pro on this channel. Go on IMDb Pro and look at their clientele, look at who's on their roster, and if they have anybody of your type. If they don't, if you see like a little void, there you go. That's the people you need to be submitting to. If you see like 5 blondes that look just like you, absolutely not. Keep looking. The key is to find like a gap where you see like, oh, like I'm Hispanic, I'm plus size, I'm bilingual. They don't have really any of my type. Bingo. There's the person that you need to submit to. Also, another good thing that I feel like will really help you if you're looking for an agent, doing the casting director workshops. A lot of people look down on them. I find that they've been very beneficial for me in regard to networking. So I haven't done really many in Atlanta, but I know Get Seen does a lot of casting director workshops and industry professional workshops, but I've done like more casting director workshops for like the LA market. But casting director workshops are great for networking. Also, if you're needing like any suggestions, recommendations, or anything like that, the casting director is a good because if the casting director is like, yeah, I think you're ready, and they'll be more than willing to give you like suggestions as to who to submit to and all that stuff. And also, like, let's say if they do give you a referral, it's like the agent's like, oh, they already network with this casting director already likes them, let me go ahead and look. It just gives you better chances, I would say. And a lot of times, like, the agents kind of obviously like they take the casting director's word for it. So go to these casting director workshops, get seen in front of these casting director workshops, and network with them, network with the peers there, and get yourself going. Once you do this, I mean, it's just a matter of time. A lot of times, like with my current agency, I've submitted them to them twice before they actually signed with me. And what was difference was because I got a reel and I hired that production. I can't say this is gonna be the same for you, but I hired that production company to get a reel together and to get some footage together. So once I was able to do that, I was signed with them. So just be patient. It takes time. It's a numbers game. And again, it's a timing thing as well. Just keep doing all of what I have listed down. Keep going to those classes. Always be working on getting headshots for types and looks. Submit yourself to as many projects as possible. If not, like, hire people and then start working. If you need to like save up money to hire a production company to film scenes for you, and like find an actor friend who will split the cost with you to be your scene partner, do that. That way it helps both of you guys. Just constantly just keep working at it. It's a numbers game, it's a timing game, and I promise you will be signed with somebody. Just make sure you are always working and your skills are up to par. All right, I hope this helps, and let me know what you guys think. Bye.